guys, welcome back. It's only been a day, but I was going to do 2 videos yesterday. I ended up running out of time. Um, Bad time management. Bad. Anyway, what I'm going to do today is I found out that it is a lot easier to put in the interviews than I thought it would be. Simple. I really thought that I was going to have to chop up the movie yesterday in order to get the interview to paste in the movie where I wanted it to. Turned out that wasn't the case. Um, as simple as could be, and I left entirely too long of a space because I was expecting to have to chop things up, and I didn't have to. So uh, a lot less hassle than I thought it would be. I can do this, so get ready. I still have to edit a few of the 2011 Runefest interviews that I did. I never did get to edit all of those because I had gotten really, really sick, an illness that I had from before Runefest. For actually, I've had it for years, and ever since my daughter was born, which is almost 17 years ago now. I'd had it. I'd been diagnosed with it. I had been managing it, and my trip to Runefest set it off to pointedly it couldn't be managed. It had to be taken care of. I had operations. I got it taken care of, and now I'm just trying to get my health back to normal. It's been 2 years since Runefest. Been 1 year since my operation. Everything's going well. It's good. It's good. So hopefully I will get these interviews back. I'll get all the interviews posted, and then maybe if I get them all posted on YouTube, maybe I can get back in touch with Jagex and do some more interviews, and get them reassociated with Rune headquarters, and get the whole program running again, because that really was my pride and joy. It was my baby. it really was something I love to do. But so today, speaking of Runefest, really why it's on my mind is because I am going to be pasting in here the first Runefest related interview I did, which was with Mod Paul M. Um, so uh, his interview was 15 minutes. And today, because I know I'm not going to have to cut and paste anything, I will be able to just put it in. I'm going to time it. I'm going to time my silence, put the interview in here, and you should be good to go. I decided, and everything's quiet on the game, as you can tell, because I still have it muted because I wanted to do another interview today. So I didn't bother to unmute it. I'm going to go to Runespan today. That's what I'm going to do behind the video during my period of quietness. So, what Wizard Phoenix here is talking about is Runespan, and I'm just going to, I know usually I voice this stuff if the game doesn't do it for me, but since I've been talking over it, if you really want to see it, just go ahead and pause so that you can read these. I don't think I have to do this to unlock the ability to go there, but just in case. This is his shop. On my other character, I have the hood, of course, because it was given to members way before Runespan was introduced. But I don't have it on this character because I don't know what you do now to get it. I don't remember doing anything in particular because I think whatever you had to do I had already done. I don't know. Anyway, I do want a full set of these because they're just cool. I would not want them this color though, but you can recolor them. So, man, I want this on my other character more than on this one. Anyway, but I have no points because I haven't done this yet. So yeah, this is the low level. The one over on this side, it's the high level. Misnomer. It's actually the medium level, but and there is no high level. For the medium level, you have to climb out. But here we go. We're gonna do this. We're gonna have fun. Well, I'm gonna have fun, and hopefully you guys will have fun listening to the interview. So, yep. Time to be quiet. Oh no, wait. Actually, thinking about it. When I come through, I'll talk to Wizard Phoenix first. Hello, how can I help you? Because I have it muted, so I have to do all the voices. Hello, who are you? I'm Wizard Phoenix. I'm a student of runecrafting. Ah, pleased to meet you, Wizard Phoenix. I'm Assiq. What are you doing here? I'm creating runes by siphoning energy out of Runespan. Creating runes by siphoning? Yes, it's a new way to make runes. I discovered it, actually. Why don't you just use the altars? That is another one of my discoveries. Runecrafting altars will not last forever. One day, the altars will run out. Run out? Yes, of course. It's still only a theory. The Runecrafting Guild wizards are still skeptical, but they cannot prove me wrong. How will humans perform magic if they cannot make runes? Exactly. This is why learning to siphon energy from the world around us is important. You mean I could create runes by pulling energy from Glenor itself? Theoretically, yes, but there is no runecrafter skilled enough to do this yet. In theory, runecrafting and magic should be a self-supporting cycle. My question would be, if you pulled the energy out of the world around you, wouldn't that kind of hurt the world around you? I don't know. Anyway, so how can I learn to siphon energy if it is so difficult? That is why we are in this area. In the Runespan, energy is still in a very raw state and is not tightly bound to matter as it is in Glenor. The wizards of the Runecrafting Guild have been using their tower to study runic energy in the Runespan for years. So that means we are outside the Runecrafting Guild, yes. So how do you make runes by siphoning? Well, firstly, I have to warn you that any runes you make here are taken by the Runecrafting Guild when you leave. They discovered the portal to this plane and have laid claim to it as their own. Don't worry too much about that, though. Any runes you do make will award you points to spend at my shop in the Wizard's Tower. You will learn to become a better runecrafter faster here, too. Which is why we're here to do this. Okay, so I could talk to him on all of these little options, but I'm going to get to it because I do know how to do this. And if you don't already know how to do this and don't want to figure it out on your own, just, watch, you'll catch on. The first thing we're going to do is collect the floating essence because we need essence to siphon runes. And we're going to start with the air essling, and then I'm going to be quiet, and I hope you enjoy listening to Mod Paul M.
Hi, this is Kitty Hawk with Rune Headquarters Radio, and I'm here with Mod Paul.
M. Hello.
Mod Paul M.
Not to be confused with Mod Paul.
So, what do you do?
Hello, Christina. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Cool. Okay, what do I do? So, I work on kind of like the community marketing kind of side of things. So, with Runefest, I'm working with the team, working on the planning, the scheduling, the content of the insider sessions and the productions that are on the main stage. I'm also sort of working with the team on the communications, and I do quite a lot of the writing and sort of come up with the competitions and all that kind of stuff. So a bit of all sorts really is the quick answer.
And so you've been involved with Runefest since the very beginning idea of it, when it was an egg of an idea in the little shell.
Well, this year, yes. Last year, I sort of came into it after a little while. Basically, I always worked in community management, and I really loved what it was doing. And for me, Runefest is the natural kind of progression from community management stuff. So when it came around this year, after I got really involved in it last year, I was right at the front of the queue with a paper full of ideas and things I wanted to get done. So yeah, I got in there pretty quick this time.
Yeah, I have to say that this year, when the official announcement was made for Runefest, I was right on Deb, who is Stormy's Amazon, on the site, asking if I could get in to go this year. But I missed out last year completely. I didn't get to go at all. So similar to you, not the same.
Okay, yeah, you missed out last year, man. It was really good. We had a really good time.
So I hear, which is why I was so eager to go this year.
Excellent.
So how long have you worked with Jagex?
I've been with Jagex for about 5 years now. I started off working in player support many years ago, decided that I really love the community management side of things, and just pretty much dived headlong into doing that and made that my mission to get involved. For the last 5 years, I've kind of gone from doing that, going to community management, and now working slightly more on the marketing side of things.
And when you first were hired on, you were hired directly into the community area of the company?
No, when I first started, I was doing like abuse reports, and I was doing password requests and all of that kind of stuff. And then that developed into the community management team, where we started to look after moderators, and so I got very involved with the moderator community. That was a lot of fun. And more reports, and then we started to do more competitions and events, and so we kind of broadened what we were doing. Yeah, it just kind of went from there, really.
So you worked with the player moderators then for a short bit?
For quite a long time, I worked with the player moderators, and then, yes, the forum moderators too, yeah. Yeah, made a lot of really good friends. Hopefully we'll be seeing some of those in October.
I hope you do. That sounds really exciting and like something to look forward to.
It really is quite exciting because they are a really good bunch, and it's funny because you speak to these people so many times through messaging and stuff that to then finally actually meet them face to face, it's, you know, it's just a good buzz. It's really good, and that's, to me, to be honest, one of the big things about Runefest in general. All those people that we've been chatting to in game and meeting, it's nice to finally actually be able to put faces to names. That always is very exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, that is what I'm looking forward to, is being able to see a few of the people that I have been talking to for quite a long time. I've been playing, I think, about 6 years now.
Wow. And have you got lots of people that you've lined up to meet?
A fair few. Most of the people that I talk to on a regular basis, of course, live over here in America. It would be expensive for most of them to make the trip as it is for me. But I talk to a lot of people on Rune headquarters, and there's a fair few of them from there, and that's from all over the globe. So that will be very exciting.
I'm expecting to see plenty of Rune HQ people there, because you guys are going to have the stand in the CM area for a while, yeah?
Yes.
So,
yeah,
you're going to have a lot of people coming over to check you out, I'm sure.
I expect that I will probably meet a whole lot of people that I didn't even know are going, so that will be very interesting to see.
Are you going to have a name badge?
I'm not sure. I think we're doing T-shirts or something like that.
Cool, okay.
So what has been your most exciting time at Jagex? What was the most exciting, interesting thing you've done so far?
There's lots of different things that I find exciting. I know that sounds like a really boring beige answer. There's so many different things, and to be honest, the thing I'm working at the time is usually the most exciting thing in my life at the time. So at the moment, you know, Runefest is a really big thing, and I'm finding that to be the most exciting thing. If you'd asked me the same question last year, I would have said Runefest again for last year. There's one thing I did a few years ago that I still kind of gives me a nice little feeling today. When I was working with the moderator team, we got an NPC put into game, the town crier, and that was sort of something that came from something that we'd kind of worked on as a team together. And so to see that actually go into game, that gave me quite a good buzz as well, because that was the first time that I'd had any kind of real direct impact on content in the game. That was an exciting time, yeah.
So how did you first get started on working with Runefest? Since you weren't in on the very, very initial conception, how did you get dragged into the project?
I think it was because we were talking about things we wanted to have at Runefest last year, and one of those things was obviously going to be like the gaming area, you know, the laptop setup, and the CM area, and also the Golden Gnomes were also happening last year. So I was immediately working on that stuff because that's kind of, you know, where my head was at. But then as I got more involved in that, I then started to get more involved in the other stuff that was going on as well, and eventually they just couldn't keep me away really, and I just started working on sort of slightly broader projects around it.
You know, that's exactly how I get started on the projects that I get started on Rune headquarters, is that I just kind of start doing it, and then eventually it's too big and they can't keep me out.
Yeah, just bully away, and that's the way.
What kind of things have you had to overcome to get Runefest on the road and where it's supposed to be this year?
I guess the biggest challenge is expectation, because last year people obviously had a really good time and we had really good feedback, and the people that are coming back this year, obviously they're expecting more. They want something that's a big improvement on last year's. And so being able to rise up to that and actually be able to deliver that, that's a big challenge, because, we did do good last year. But if I'm honest, I think it's something that we'll be able to beat very easily this year. We're just doing everything a lot bigger and a lot better, a lot grander. Yeah, that's a challenge, but it's something that we're going to overcome quite easily. Other challenges, let's see, getting competitions, running them and getting them completed in time, and being able to get everybody's flight details in time and actually just bringing people to Runefest. That's quite difficult. Another challenge is the insider sessions, because we had to sit down and we had loads of ideas of things we wanted to do in the insider sessions, and trying to get those down to just the selection that we've actually got happening on the main stage. That was quite hard.
That's coming together for you now. You're getting a pretty good handle on time management with still getting everything in that you want to have there.
Yeah, well, we're also going to have some mini insider sessions, which is going to be a secondary room, and there's going to be slightly like a smaller audience, and it's going to be a slightly more intimate kind of insider session idea. We're cheating a bit. We're getting to do both. We're doing a big main stage full of insider sessions, but then for the stuff that we still want to do that we couldn't quite cram into the main stage, we're going to do some mini insider sessions to do those too.
It sounds like a very, very full weekend.
It really is. And by the time anybody hears this, the schedule should be fully live and all the insider sessions will have been announced. So hopefully you'll see that we are packing a lot of stuff in.
When did you first start planning?
Probably the day after Runefest last year finished. By the end of the event, we had loads of ideas. We had loads of things that we thought we'd like to do next year. Well, this year, I suppose that would be now. We planned from the day after, and we're still planning now. I mean, we'll be planning still right all the way through October. Everything is kind of organised, but there's still always more stuff that you want to do, and there's still more finishing touches and flourishes that you can add here and there. So it never really stops. I mean, I'm already thinking about next year.
So how difficult has it been for you to not share things that you're not supposed to share about Runefest or anything really with Jagex?
Well, there's loads of stuff that we want to be able to say, but to be honest, I find it quite easy not to sort of spill the beans at all, because we do that all the time. We've always got a load of stuff that we're cooking up in the background, and what we kind of announce is generally just what's bubbling over the surface. There's always months and months of content sitting underground ready to go, and it's our normal everyday lives to keep our mouths shut.
What is the biggest single improvement that you're doing this year over what you did last year?
Everything is bigger and better than it was last year. So what is the biggest improvement? I think the gaming area is going to be really special, because we've got the exclusive content going on in there. We've got some community management in-game tools that are going to be very cool. The area itself, I don't know if you saw the interview recently where we sort of showed some of the first images of what the games room is going to look like. But I think that's going to be a really amazing room. We learned a lot from last year. Like the tables last year, for example, were a bit wobbly and they weren't quite big enough for the computers. So it was fun and people seemed to have a really good time, but we can improve on that. So it's little things like that. It's things like having a decent tannoy system set up so that when events are happening and people are hitting their 99s, we can actually shout about that. We can run the show a little bit easier. AMAT is having a 99 party at Runefest. And so that's a really big improvement, that we're taking some really nice ideas from the community and we're going to implement them into the day itself. So I think that's really cool. And just the venue, the gaming area this year is going to be like this giant gladiatorial pit type place. And that's going to be amazing. It's just going to look stunning, and it's going to be the nicest place to play RuneScape.
And I heard that Team Penguin was supposed to have a huge 99 celebration party for people hitting a 99 with penguins. Have you heard anything about that?
I haven't, but that sounds brilliant. Yeah, who's doing that?
I'm not sure that I have my information correct, so I can't go on record with saying that it's official, but I had heard a rumor that it was being planned. Here's hoping that it actually does happen.
Okay, I'll have to find out about that, because that sounds really exciting. I'm up for that.
So what has worked out better this year than last year?
Well, nothing ever goes completely smoothly. I would have to say probably the insider sessions. I mean, although it's taken a lot of work to whittle it down to the number that we've got, I think we've got some really strong ones, and they seem to naturally be the strongest sessions, if you know what I mean. So that was something that wasn't as painful to decide as last year. Also last year, it was an unknown quantity. It's the first time we'd ever done anything like that, so it's very difficult to gauge it, whereas this time we've had lots of feedback and stuff, so it's been a bit easier to tailor what we're presenting to everybody.
I know that we're doing an insider session with Rune headquarters, but I know nothing about it. They've kept it a total secret from me.
At this point, it's still a secret from me. I can't wait to find out.
Well, I know that we're doing the booth, and I know that we're supposed to at least be willing to stand up and shout out our names to everybody. So everything else will be a total surprise to me as well as to everybody else I am gathering.
Cool. Well, another thing I'm really looking forward to actually is the costume competition, because we saw so many people in amazing costumes last year, but we didn't actually run an official competition for it. So this year we're going to do that. It's not going to be a hugely structured and organised competition. If you've got an amazing costume, you've got an amazing costume. I don't think we need maybe have a first, second, third place type situation, but I think that it'd be really nice to be able to recognise people that had some amazing costumes this year. So that would be a big improvement, I think.
A little, hey, did you check out so-and-so's amazing costume would be a really special thing for the people who've worked really hard to get a good costume together.
Well, a guy who I will always call Mr. Bandos put so much work into his costume last year, and I saw the video he made of the making of his costume, and I just wish that I had a prize to give him on the spot just for that, because it was real dedication and a really good result as well.
Well, I can't wait to see. Hopefully he'll wear that or something else this year, and I can see it.
Christina, I am sure that he will outdo himself this year. I'm sure he will. And if he's listening, that is a gauntlet being thrown down to Mr. Bandos. Outdo yourself this year.
Well, hopefully he'll hear this interview and rise to your challenge. Is there a plan to host a future Runefest in another country?
There is a plan to do a lot more with Runefest, and we would be stupid and naive to ignore all of the very encouraging feedback we've had.
A couple of just personal questions for you. What is your favorite music genre or favorite band?
Well, I just bought the Nero album today. I'm very excited about that. I love my dubstep. I love anything electronic. But then I've also got a history of lots of bands as well. So I still love Queens of the Stone Age for a live gig. I think Queens of the Stone Age takes some beating. But at the moment, I'm loving my dubstep. Big, dirty basses that hurt your stomach when it's very, very loud.
Yeah, we had that discussion before. I'm not such a fond of the huge basses, but I definitely need to check out that band, I think.
And I do realise that I sound like food poisoning, but dubstep isn't food poisoning. It is very different.
I will check it out.
Okay.
Your favorite movie of all time?
My favourite movie? Well, that's probably going to be Star Wars. It's the film I've probably watched more than anything else. That's a really difficult question. I've got lots of really favourite skateboard films that I've watched millions of times, but probably the biggest film that other people would recognise, it's got to be Star Wars. I mean, I'm looking around my house now and I've got lots of Star Wars paintings on the wall, so I guess, yeah, it's Star Wars.
So do you skateboard yourself?
I used to skateboard a lot when I was younger, and then I stopped for a few years when I got involved doing the music thing, and then I started again in my 30s, and me and a group of other friends decided to have the over 30s skateboard club, and we would go and terrorise local skate parks and learn new tricks. At the moment it's an on and off type thing, and this summer I've been quite lazy, but the short answer is I skateboard, yes.
I was never able to personally learn how to skateboard, so that's some admiration from me. My final question, pirates, zombies, ninjas, or robots?
Robots. There you go, that was easy. Robots. I love robots. On my shelf, in fact, I'm looking at a little golden robot. He's not made of real gold, obviously, that would be ridiculous, but he's a gold-coloured robot, and he's probably the coolest thing in the world.
It's not C-3PO.
No, I said he's the coolest thing in the world, not the nerdiest thing in the world. C-3PO is an amazing example of how you can make a robot incredibly boring.
Maybe you'll have to bring your robot, or at least maybe a picture of it, to Runefest, and we can see what you're talking about.
I'll just do an impersonation of a robot. I'll make some cardboard boxes. I'll make my own costume. It's not just Mr. Bandos that can make costumes. I'll make a costume, and I'll come as a robot.
I am holding you to that. If I see you and you do not have a costume, I will be going, where is your costume?
I've just suddenly remembered, of course, that this is being recorded, which means that I can't really get out of that now, can I? But, yeah, it's not very RS, is it? Thank you, Emma. That's a very good point, yes. Does a verbal contract count?
Yeah, yes it does.
Okay,
According to
right.
my business law professor, a verbal contract counts very much.
Okay. I feel slightly scared now, but I'll muddle through.
Thank you very much for coming to talk with us, and we're very excited to see what happens at Runefest this year.
Yes, thanks very much, Christina. It's been really good to chat to you. We should really do this a lot more often. I don't get a chance to come and do these sorts of interviews, and it's been a real pleasure. If ever you want to chat some more, then you know where to find me. And I can't wait to see you guys, and obviously all of your lovely Rune HQ people hanging out at Runefest and harassing us for stickers and tattoos and badges and stuff.
Alright, guys, if my timing is correct, it should have been just enough time with a little bit of buffer between the interview and me interrupting to speak to you guys again. And if I'm not correct, then I guess the interview's going to be talking over me. But anyway, as you can see, I came in here with, I think, about level 7 rune crafting. I mean, I checked it before I got started, but I just, yeah, I was level 6. There we go. And in the period of 16 minutes, I got to level 20. This is really, really good experience for rune crafting, especially if you're a low level. Because, you know, when you're low level, even though you're training on really low level things, everything that, every level that you gain, it's very quick, because the amount between levels of experience that you need to grow a level isn't very much. But even at higher levels where you have to wait a little bit longer, this is so much faster experience than crafting runes, because there is no travel. You don't have to go back and forth to the bank and carry only 28 pieces of essence to craft, or you know, whatever it happens to be. Now I'm trying to find the entrance. 28 if you don't have pouches. If you do have pouches, and eventually I will go get pouches with this account, because eventually I will want to make some runes. Then of course you can carry a few more, but you know, still, when you just want to train some levels in rune crafting because you just want to do a few things, this is where you go. And a couple notes: if you do come to Runespan and do your rune crafting and you haven't ever done it before, you do want to go around even at higher levels and get all of the little the lower level runes. You want at least a couple, I'd say at least 5 or 10 of each one, just because you need to get through these platforms. And even if you're level 80 and making air runes isn't really great experience for you anymore, if you don't have an air rune, you can't use this platform, this really low level platform here. So yeah, you do want to make sure that you have a bunch of low level runes just for traveling, even though you're not going to use a whole bunch of them. Also, one of the first things that happened was I did get a strange rock, which I have not unlocked on this account yet. So it's just going to go in my bank for right now. But I'll be doing that eventually too. So anyway, thank you for joining me. I had a ton of fun, and I really, really hope that you enjoyed listening to Mod Paul M. And I'll let you know when I get the next interview up and running. And anybody who just wants to follow my interviews, that's in a totally separate list than the show that I'm doing on this, or the Let's Play I'm doing with this account. So please feel free to just follow that. That is not a problem. It will not hurt my feelings. I will not cry, I promise. Or at least not too loud. You won't be able to hear me. Anyway, thank you guys, and enjoy your day. Bye-bye.